having me and Mapcreator, especially thanks to Mutu and Alex and the whole team at Geoawesomeness. It was really great to work with you on this event in the last couple of days. Before I get started, I just wanted to quickly introduce myself so you know who you're dealing with in the next couple of minutes. I'm Magdalena. People also call me Maggie. And in case you're wondering where my accent is from, I'm actually from Austria, to be more precise, from the mountainous part called Tyrol. And just this weekend, I moved to Portugal from where I keep on working for our Dutch company called Mapcreator. And there I am responsible for our user success. So what I do is I onboard every new user via online screen sharing sessions, or if COVID wasn't in the way, I visit them in their office to do in-person workshops and train them on our tools. I also make sure that once we have new tool releases upcoming, for example, I keep our users up to date about all the latest tool features and possibilities. So what or who exactly is Mapcreator? We're a small company consisting of map enthusiasts based in the Dutch city called Eindhoven, and we're providing tools that allow you and our users worldwide to log in to our web-based platform to create and download custom-made maps. We believe, and as you can see our motto pulled up here, that anyone can create maps, from graphic designers to people who are cartography novices, because our easy-to-use and quick-to-learn mapping platform really allows everyone to create high-quality output so you can map your story. And that story can be anything from fast-breaking news that need to get published now, or perhaps you need to map a road round trip that gets featured in your travel guide, or you work in a real estate company and you want to map the property you're offering. And with Mapcreator, you can also create a large amount of maps via our API or for direct mailing purposes. So you might wonder, how does this idea even get born, right? So to answer this, we need to go a little bit back into history. To be more precise, back to the late 1940s, where originally maps were hand-drawn and handmade, which, as you know, is quite a considerable amount of work and time. In the 1990s, our mother company, Falcon, with their Falk maps, started to automatize and digitize this whole process and produced the first car atlas, which was created cover to cover 100% automatically, featuring over 530 maps on 1,000 pages. And this is what this looked like. So back then, our company leaders were thinking, why don't we have the system being used directly by the end user? Or why don't we offer a tool that makes mapping easy and accessible? So in the early 2000s, the first maps were being created by our users, with the map calculation only taking up to 45 minutes, which back then was a real time saver. Initially, we were focusing to work with newsrooms, hence one of our first product names was the familiar Maps for News. But now we're working together with industries like tourism, like real estate, government, and TV on a browser-based tool that allows you to download a map within a few seconds from any browser, any time of day. So 2019 was quite a key moment for us, where we have rebranded ourselves from Maps for News to Mapcreator, which was actually our company name all along anyways. This milestone doesn't mean we have finished developing yet. It's the complete contrary. We keep on improving every day based on a lot of feedback sessions we have, especially also with our clients. And we also monitor our clients' usage very closely. So for that, we even built an in-house monitoring tool. We call that Job Monitor, which is what you're seeing right now. And we support the users if necessary. And we take these maps to learn and understand our client use cases, and we continue improving our map output also based on that. This is about us, where we're coming from and where we want to go. So if you're curious, create an account at online.mapcreator.io and see for yourself. I assume I'm not telling you any news when I say to build a map, you need data. There's space data that can be vector layers, and on top, you can visualize your own data, right? Our tool is working with several data providers. The majority is in-house built from OSM or OpenStreetMap. And for some parts of our tool, we work with Natural Earth, Here.com, and Untitled. One of the most recent features we've introduced is the support of live data updates. For example, of USGS for mapping earthquakes or NOAA for hurricane data. And we also support WMS and other custom sources. Whenever working with map data, obviously you want to make sure that the quality is good and it shows the right amount of detail. For example, someone of the OSM mapping community was quite enthusiastic and drew the outlines of this tennis court, which is probably just a tad too detailed for this for a map. Whereas on the next slide, this one here, you can see what happens if data gets too generalized, so that in this case, whole parts of the River Nile just got lost. So we do have the solution in-house. We do pre-generalize the data, which makes the production time faster and the calculation smooth, and the output file size small. So we do have the team in-house, so they know how to make these changes, improve such situations, and prevent these kind of big mistakes. In the tool itself, the user has the freedom to decide what they'd like to show or to hide, since you can, for example, toggle the visibility of entire map layers or your hand-drawn features. So in the end, we leave the decision of what the map looks like completely up to the user. It's the user's decision. And that means they're also responsible for creating a map that's understandable, which brings me to the next topic, recognizability. There are a couple of features available in the Mapcreator tool that allow you to make your map more understandable, and you have the full control over what to show or not. One approach to explain your story's location better could be to show an inset map or locator map or mini map, as they go by a lot of names. When you start to create a map, you probably have to target, you want to target a specific audience, and you'd like your map to be understandable to everyone in this audience. But what if your audience consists of a mix of people all over the world? With these inset maps, you're providing additional support to your readers to understand the story. So, for example, if someone doesn't know where Eindhoven is in the Netherlands, highlighting it on a map of the Netherlands is good, like here. But if you need to go one level higher to show where the Netherlands are, then perhaps that could be a better example, just to give a bit of a general context where the Netherlands are within Europe. Another important aspect to keep in mind when creating maps for the mass is to help your readers orientate. Country shapes are in most cases iconic, so you ought to be careful when all of a sudden you alter that appearance by removing the adjacent countries or by hiding certain map layers, like the water layers. So, for example, what would happen to the Netherlands if the specific part with the water on the north part called IJsselmeer is not visible, or if the Great Lakes in the US are not visible anymore? Would you still be able to put a city like Amsterdam or Chicago on the map? Sometimes less information can be good, but you really have to consider whether it's still recognizable or not. Which brings me to this map here, where you can see several abbreviations, for example, PL for Plaza or C for Calle. Obviously, you need to make space on the map to pack all the necessary information, but is it always wise to abbreviate? And is this map even still understandable? For some of you here, it probably is, but how about someone that doesn't work with maps 24/7? Next to these general do's and don'ts, I would like to take the remainder of minutes to look together with you at some maps that our clients have created with the Mapcreator tool. Though I've been talking about the tool itself for quite a bit without giving you an idea of what it actually looks like. So here's a screenshot of our interface, which consists of a few buttons, the menu, and the most important thing, the map, of course. So here I've created a simple routing map. All these elements can be added here under the plus or the add elements menu, where you find options to draw lines, to add text, or the extras like the insert map and the scale bar that I've added here in the upper right corner. You can also fully decide how many of the other map layers you would like to show or not. So they can actually hide entire layers using this menu here, the third one. And the last step would be to download the map, where users can decide what kind of file type they would like to download after doing some, for example, final adjustments for the height or the width of the map. So much about the tool. Let's see those users' maps, right? Just one more thing you're going to notice is that every map that you will see has its own look and feel. Since one of our core strengths is to customize each map design to the CI rules, respecting the custom fonts of our users or colors. So that only limited post editing or perhaps even no editing needs to be done. This first map that you're looking at on the left-hand side enlarged, it's a map embedded into a whole page of a newspaper. You see several differently colored icons with numbers. It wouldn't have made sense to explain each of the locations info on the spot. There was no space, so the editor did well to place all the text into the bottom of the map, while still making it easy and logical to follow where to find each of the locations with the colors and the number symbols. So this is quite a rich and detailed map showing lots of POIs. So what to do when you just need to create a simple map for breaking news? This is why this map here is quite well done. We see the Brussels airport highlighted and put into context of the city center of Brussels, and the scale bar in the bottom also helping us to understand the distance. And the inset map on the bottom right corner showing the adjacent countries, in this case, this is Belgium, which is also really helpful for the readers. And speaking of the inset maps, with one more here explaining the wider context of the map area, which shows really a rich detail and nice look and feel because of the elevation layer. Since this map is featured in a travel magazine, it absolutely made sense to add this layer and explain visually the mountainous part of the Alps, or the mountainous area, while the subtle POIs, those yellow ones, are explained around the map. Not visible in this example, just not to pack this map with too much information on the map itself. Another hiking map I would like to show you, and I promise I didn't choose this one just because it actually shows the area where I'm from in Austria. But this map stands out since it's only one column big, and due to the smart way of working with the colors and the clear symbolism, like the mountain peak triangle, it encompasses a lot of information on a little space. This next map here is a corporate map, and with every corporate map, you need a legend, which is visible in the bottom left, and it's immediately clear what the different shades of blue represent. The one more questionable thing, in my opinion, would be the choice of colors, since you have a blue legend on top of a blue water area. But then again, we don't really know what made them go for this design choice. So we probably need to see the whole newspaper's page to understand it. Water, as we said, typically blue, but doesn't need to be, as we can see on this map. It's a very simple map, just showing Australia, since the focus should clearly be on the devastating wildfires, which are highlighted in red, representing data pulled from a publicly available data source, for example, or maybe even through a file import with latitude and longitudes as coordinates. I personally also like this map here, also because of the smart way of working with colors, and also because they decided to color one of the story's highlighted regions in the same color as the brand itself. Everything else is kept in white and gray to visualize which countries are of importance and which ones can be disregarded, at least for this very story. And the last map I'd like to show you for now, also a map featuring a lot of countries, is this map here, or actually two maps, that were used for an evening news story in TV. So if this map were to be published in a newspaper or social media feed, it might not have told enough. However, since this map is used to support the story that the news anchor is reporting, and you don't want to distract the viewer in an unnecessary way or with too much information, this was definitely the correct choice. And with that, I'm already done with sharing my insights. And I hope you found one or the other map revealing, and I made you curious enough to want to start mapping yourself. For now, I just remain with a big thank you for your time. Have a great day.